Hey, welcome back here to the Central PA Pour. I am Brett.
I am Ben.
I'm Dave.
And we are missing Kevin today, unfortunately. Shout out Pops on travel for some business.
And we do have a guest with us here again today, and we're happy to have him here and give us his time. So I'm going to let him introduce himself.
Sure. Brooks Hemauer Brewing.
Brooks, welcome back. Welcome here. We're glad to have you here.
Oh, thanks for coming, guys.
So we kind of recorded this previously. We had a little mishap on my mistake.
Hey, it happens.
We had a very good recording the first time around. And I had to reach out to Brooks and say I had a little mishap with the video and audio. And Brooks was gracious enough to welcome us back to do this again. And this time we have come to his brewery. So, Brooks, where can they find you?
So where we are currently located at 1010 Wesley Drive in Mechanicsburg. And the brewery itself is located in Dillsburg, the preferred production at my house. So not going to divulge those details. It is my private home with my wife and our children. And anyone who wants to come over will be asked to leave.
Quite promptly.
Yes. Yeah.
Can they find you anywhere else?
Yeah. So right now, distribution really isn't too big on my agenda right now. It will be later this year, but we are currently in two locations. One is the Mechanicsburg Club, and then two would be Ted's in Midtown Harrisburg.
Okay. What about on the internet? Can they go out and find you on the internet as well?
Yeah. We're HemauerBrewingCo.com, as well as Hemauer Brewing on Facebook, Instagram, and just Hemauer Brewing on Twitter.
All right. So, hey, you got to get out there. You got to find these guys because Brooks does a heck of a job. And we're glad to be here in his tap room. So this is kind of a first experience for the CPP, and we are mobile. We became an on-site thing, so this was a trial. So it was a mess up on my end, but it gave us an opportunity to see if we can do this.
Everything happens for a reason, Brett.
That's what they say. So, Ben, where can they find us, speaking of that?
You can find us at Central PA Pour on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, at Central PA Pour at gmail.com, on all of our social media bios, as well as the description on this episode. You'll find our link tree, which has some new updates lately. One of the links will be our latest YouTube video, which will be embedded right there on the link tree, as well as a new guest form that we have on there. So if you're interested in joining us for an episode, whether you want to promote something or just hang out and drink some beers, go ahead and fill out that guest form, and we'll reach out to you for more information.
Yeah. Give us a like, give us a share, subscribe to the YouTube channel.
Yep.
Like Hemauer Brewing Company, find them on all his social media, give him a follow, and by all means, come up here and visit him at his tap room and try out his beers. So we've had some things in the past. We've done some trivia, and we're going to kind of put that on hold right now and kind of skip that. But we did do some with the Olympics, and speaking of the Olympics, the Paralympics are going on right now.
Right.
Has anybody been able to watch any of it? Because truthfully, it's hard to find on TV. They say it's being televised, but it's not in prime time on the NBC.
That isn't.
So
I have not seen it.
I did watch a couple of them. Oksana Masters won gold in her biathlon, where they shoot and ski. But I can't imagine watching cross-country skiing or doing it sitting down with all upper body strength. That's phenomenal.
Yeah.
What they do.
Yeah. Didn't the U.S. men win the gold in hockey over Canada? That
was the last Olympics that I think they beat them the first game. I don't know.
The only thing I saw is that they three-peated, So.
I haven't seen it for the last couple of days. I didn't know that tournament was already over.
Oh,
it may be.
Yeah, this is just a little blurb I caught, probably through social media or something like that. So
it'd be great if they would, because they got a new goaltender too.
Yeah,
the other one retired, but I definitely would love that they would put it on TV more, because I think highlighting those is great. But speaking of, we are into March, and everybody gets excited about March because springtime's coming. Warmer weather, everything's getting ready. St. Patty's Day is coming up. So we're gonna have a good time. So the spring is coming, and we're getting into that. And there's been a lot of things that go on in March other than St. Patty's Day. There's the basketball tournament, March Madness. So there's some things out there that we saw that bring it in.
Yep, gotta love March Madness season. We got PA Beer Madness is going on from breweries in PA. A lot of local breweries made the list. It seems like to get nominated, they used a combination of Untapped ratings and total check-ins. So a couple of the local ones that we had, Poor Man's Brewing, which we've mentioned on an episode, Rotunda Brewing as well, Trogs, Collusion Tapworks, Mellow Mink, Wolf Brewing, Pizza Boy, Four Score, and Evergreen.
Yep. So, hey, check them out. Get your vote in. Brooks, how do you know anything about that, or is it you have to, like you said, I guess you have to have a certain amount of check-ins on Untapped.
I just kind of let that, let that dog lie. It would be amazing to be nominated. I mean, there's some amazing breweries that are in there. Another shout out to Shy Bear Brewing up in Lewistown. I mean, somewhat local to us. Great people, Jen and Jason, amazing people. But whatever. It'd be amazing to be nominated for it. Would we win it? Hell no. I guess verification or the notoriety that my hard work's getting notified and spread throughout, which it is. So
you've been up at the farm show. You won some ribbons up there, and when we did this recording previously, you said that's just the icing on the cake, but that's not what you're about.
No, for business wise, and that's a thing that people got to realize about me is that I wear all the hats, not just some, all the hats. So part of me, as the brewer, ribbons don't really mean anything to me, medals and stuff like that. I mean, I could throw them away, one day and sleep perfectly fine at that night. But on, the business owner, the marketing side of me, I'm like, no, I want those ribbons because, people really, take focus on those type of accomplishments. So, it is kind of nice. I can say I am an award-winning professional brewer.
There we go.
But, it's, to me, it's more important that people coming in and, purchasing my product, that I've worked so hard to create and an environment that is warm and welcoming for everyone, not just, a few that are allowed in. So, it is what it is. And, it'd be great if we can be on there next year, but if we're not.
Well, we're going to push that and see if we can get you on one of those lists. So,
sure. Absolutely.
Speaking of beer, the episode that we did record that I messed up was on porters. So we kind of scrapped that, but we're going to do that one again sometime. And while we're up here at Hemauer, we're going to focus on his beers. So speaking of beer, let's get into the first one. And what are you going to give us today, Brooks?
First one is actually my personal favorite. It's our Hellish Lager. It's talk to any brewer. It's one of the most difficult styles to make, mainly because you cannot hide any of your flaws. So if you do something improper, incorrect, it's going to show through. There's no hops to hide behind. There's no roasted malt to hide behind. It just needs to be clean, crisp, refreshing in that order. And if it's not, you can definitely tell right away. So like I said, this is my personal favorite. Whenever I get done brewing, especially in the summertime when it's 100 degrees outside, I just want something, clean, crisp, and I can drink 2-3 of them and still survive and function the next day.
Yeah. So what makes it difficult? I mean, so a lager, it takes a little bit of processing to do a lager to begin with to let it age a little bit, or cold crasher, I guess they call it.
There's varying degrees. Everyone has their own opinion on what a lager is and the process in order to brew a lager. I have a quick lagering process. I mean, I can turn my lager around in 2 weeks.
Okay.
There's some people, no, it needs to be lagered for 6 weeks. To each their own. I mean, whatever they think is best, go ahead. Whatever works for you, great. But I, have a process that I can go through to get turned around in 2 weeks. It's not the clearest, full disclosure on that, which drives me nuts, being, the perfectionist that sometimes I am. But I mean, at the end of the day, taste is what really should matter most above all. So in a couple of weeks, it'll all drop out and it'll be clear as can be. What we're drinking here, I just kegged on Friday, so it's Monday now. So it's a couple days, in the keg. So it's within the kegging process, some things can get kicked up yeast and things like that. So
now, I know we had talked about Untapped before. You don't really care, but how do you put the brewer put the beer on Untapped? Is that how that is?
Yeah. So if I come up with something new, I'll usually the day of half an hour before we open the tap room on a Friday, I'll go on Untapped and then, put the information in, description, things of that nature. So that way people can check it in, share it, and as well as our digital draft board runs off of Untapped. So it needs to be in Untapped in order for it to be on the board for people to see what we are offering.
Okay. Gotcha. So speaking of Untapped, this one's has 469 check-ins with an average rating of 3.8, 5% ABV with a IBU of 20. Very clean and crisp, I must say. And Brooks, you mentioned there's no flaws to hide behind with this. Do you have some sort of piloting system or something before you ramp up production to bring it to the tap room?
Yeah. Actually, we just took delivery a month ago, maybe a month and a half ago, on a 1-barrel pilot system out of Colorado, and I was just using my homebrew setup. So,
oh wow, okay.
So taking it kind of full circle here from starting my first all grain batch to actually producing professional grade beer on, which it definitely can be done. But I knew that with the increased demand as we grow, I would need something larger. So 10 gallons. We've had a couple of beers where we put it on tap on Friday afternoon, and it's gone Friday night.
Wow.
So just burn right through them, and a lot of that has to do with people taking crowlers home. So just wanted one of those things on the wish list that I wanted to get. So and then I also got 2 glycol jacketed 2-barrel fermenters, so I can double batch the 1 barrel, and then so that will give us plenty of resources in order to have some sustainability on the draft list, and plus I can off of it as well too.
You must have a hell of a big garage.
Yeah, 840 some square feet
boy.
For it. So I was just a pole barn that originally intent when my wife and I first bought our house was that I had a Jeep Cherokee, an XJ that I wanted to go crazy with, build long arms for it, custom suspension, things like that. Then the first baby comes along, and now I don't have very much time in order to play with it and wrench on it, and I decided to get rid of it, which my wife didn't want to. So it was just used for storage, the lawnmower, yard tools, things of that nature. And then things got kind of a little serious when it came to brewing, and it was a perfect location. And it's 22 steps outside the back door of my house. So
there we go.
It's
not too far to crawl if you have a little too much.
Yeah, that daily commute can be rather treacherous at times.
Well, this Hell's Lager, I like it. I get a little bit of malty backbone or back tones in it, back notes. It's a little biscuity. Is that what?
Yeah,
a good description.
Yeah, crackery, biscuity. On the grain back bill. Just touch of hops with it. But other than that, it's very very simple grain bill, as well as just trying to think here. I think it's just Mittelfrau or Hallertau Mittelfrau hops on it. So very simple, noble hop, and all good.
It's clean, smooth, and crisp.
Mm-hmm. So I'm going to give it right there.
I'm going to give it a quarter bottle cap.
It's good.
Thanks, buddy.
This is very, very, very good.
This is good.
I'll tell you what, I really like this. And when you were talking about having the time, when you just want to get out of the sun and sit down and have 2 or 3 of these, this is perfect. This is really good.
Yeah, on the beach or at the lake, whatever. But it's also good in the middle of winter as well too, for just something simply. It's great to go with dinner. It matches so well with so many foods. So that's. Like I said, it's my favorite. I got a little bit of bias to this one.
It is very good. I'm definitely a 4.0 on, at least a 4.0 on this one, but it's very good.
You want to see my rating? You'll have to follow me on Untapped.
Yes, check us out on Untapped, and we. Problem is, I didn't take pictures to check these in, so we might after recording we may have to report.
We'll have to buy. We'll have to support and buy more. Hey,
I can help you out with that. No problem.
There you go. Dave's buying.
Oh.
No problem.
Hey, like I tell everyone in the tap room, I don't care who pays as long as someone does.
Someone pays before you leave.
I rode with you, Brett. I think I left my wallet at home.
Shit.
Heard that one from my wife.
Looks like I'm buying. So, hey, being that we mentioned March Madness, I think the beer thrillers have one going on as well. So go check that out. And just a little fun. It's just fun. Go out and check it out. Vote for your breweries. Get their name out there, like Brooks said. It's not the all by means that this is what we stand for, but it does help. Support them, however you want to do it. Vote for them, support them.
Yeah, support your local businesses. These are the people that support the soccer clubs, the local school district. the Boy Scouts, things of that nature. So, you definitely got to, get back and support them so they can just turn it right back around and support their community.
Yep. So, hey, we had talked, you had mentioned about how you got started. So you started with home brewing in a kit, kind of like what we do.
Mm-hmm.
And how did this come about? I mean, what got that started, and then how did it grow from there? Because I think your story, when I watched it on Port in PA, you and your wife both quit your full-time jobs to pursue your dreams and passions, and I found that just absolutely phenomenal. So
yeah, I mean, I guess the first way to start with this is that I learned from a very, very wise man that this thing we call life, it's not a dress rehearsal.
Yeah.
This is the real deal.
Yeah.
You only get one shot at it. So, I was in the corporate world in the automotive industry and just getting burnt out at working long hours, never home, and always working for someone else. Someone who has never done my job before, but knows exactly what to do after the dust settles. I think we've all been there. In our working careers and things of that nature, where you feel underappreciated and overworked. So, started up home brewing just as a hobby, something to do in the wintertime. I become a little bit irritable when football season's over with. So I'm kind of there right now, wishing it. I'm counting down the days to training camp starts in July, but I just need something to do. My brain needs constant stimulation. I don't sit still well, and brewed once with a friend, and hey, I can do this. Couple kits later, start writing my own recipes, joined a homebrew club, the Sons of Alchemy, and we really prided ourselves on education. It's not just a beer drinking club. We'd have our social events where we just come and hang out with the guys, and but the other half of the time we are actually learning. So you have to give prepared presentations of anything in the with making beer, and just the ball kept rolling, wanted to do more, and went to all grain, and kind of like maybe this can be a career, and started doing a couple homebrew festivals where I could pour my beer for people, and one question always came up: where can I have this? Where can I get this? Where can I get this? And well, maybe we have something here.
So people liked what you were presenting them.
Yeah, I really did. Won a couple awards at the Lancaster Iron Brewer, which actually they just had the results here, I think, this week. That is a very, very tough competition. I mean, there's people from all across the country that enter that competition. Wow. And a couple first places, second and third. So, and then it just, the right situation came up, and I was talking with my wife on a beach in Mexico for our long overdue honeymoon. I think it was we were married 7 years before we went on our honeymoon. We bought our house first. I thought that was a better financial decision than spending all the money and going on vacation. But anyways, sitting there in the cabana saying, hey, I've been thinking about this, and what do you think? And she fired right back and said, you know what, you pushed me to start my business. You said you would do whatever it takes in order for me to succeed. And how can I be here telling you no on your dream when you push me to achieve mine? And, she was all in, and kept researching, and, the perfect opportunity came together, and look, this is our time. So many people in the world have this great idea, but very few of them actually execute on that idea, whether that would be financial, fear, what have you.
Fear is a big driver.
Fear is a huge motivator, but it all depends on how you allow it to affect you. Me personally, it motivates me. Yep. Fear motivates me because going through everything we went through our first year in the tap room, starting during the pandemic, everyone was almost like in shock, like, you're a new business. How did you survive? And tell them point blank, look, we didn't have any other options. We had to survive, and I'm going to do whatever it takes in order to survive. And, we're coming up on our second anniversary already, and it's hard to believe.
I think that was phenomenal about the whole pandemic is the small independents, no matter what business it was, especially restaurant, food service, and stuff like you guys are doing. They were all shut down. Mm-hmm. You could not go to their places. Unlike my business, automotive, we were fine because we were deemed
essential.
Which is bullshit. everybody's essential. Every business is essential to somebody.
Everyone has to support their family,
Right.
you know?
But the way the creative ideas you guys have all come up with to make it through that pandemic, I found fascinating. And I think it's kudos to you guys.
Yeah. I always say that we had the best meal in town when the meal was you had to have a meal whenever you had a drink. So we were selling boxes of cereal as a meal.
Oh, is that why they're up on the shelf?
That's why they're up on the shelves.
Man, there's a
clever.
look inside of one of the inside jokes.
Yeah. And actually, if you look on our menu, it's still there.
Is it?
Yes.
Oh, that's awesome.
I told my wife, I said, look, as long as I own this business, as long as we own this business, there will always be cereal on the menu. And mainly because it's a great icebreaker for a server to come up to a table and, what can I get for you? Well, why the heck do you have cereal? Well, let me tell you about that year 2020. Let's go back in time. Yeah, and it's a great, once again, it's a great icebreaker in order to start that communication that people will feel welcome in, and instantly breaks their guard down.
You could take that cereal flavor and put it into an IPA.
I think I already did that.
You already did that one?
There may be one coming April 30th.
Goodness.
Oh, there we go.
At the birthday party.
Oh, there we go. So speaking of, it's 2 years, you said.
Mm-hmm.
You opened like in May of
2020.
May of 2020.
May 1st, yep.
What was the time frame like from home brewing to opening the tap room?
Let's see here. I can't remember when I think I've been brewing for like 6 years now, 6 or 7 years.
Including the 2 with the tap room?
Correct, yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah, all total. So I've been quote unquote professional brewer since September of 19. We got licensed at the garage for production purposes. And so we took over this space we're in now. It was the January of 2020. And I just, was working feverishly, by myself to try to renovate the location, build the walls, cut up the floor for the drainage for the bathrooms, and then I had a deadline, that I wanted to launch beginning of March, and
pandemic.
Yeah, and then Governor Wolf came down and said, "Yeah, we can't do that anymore." Which, in full disclosure, no one knew what the hell was going on.
No, it was a path that nobody has tread before.
Correct. So I mean, I can't. I'm not going to play Monday morning quarterback, and we should have done this. No one had a clue what the hell was going on.
Right.
So, we just kind of sat still a little bit. We were able to get our license through email. Since the state was shut down for operations, there was no field inspection, so the state, liquor control board couldn't come out and give us our license to inspect. So I had to send pictures and things of that nature, and we got our license through email the next day. So we kind of looked at the calendar and decided to take another 2 weeks, kind of see, because we were still in that little 2 week flatten the curve thing. So let's see, how things are going. Is this just media hype? Is this, something else? And once we, realize that, this isn't going anywhere anytime soon.
It's still going.
Correct. I think we're going to deal with it, for the rest of our lives, but that's neither here nor whatever. We looked at the calendar and, first Friday that I saw was May 1st. My wife's full time with her photography business. She shut down. She had to cancel all of her, photo shoots for the remaining part of the year indefinitely because we didn't know what the heck was going on, and I'm full time at this, and I got 2 kids and a mortgage to take care of.
You got bills to do.
We got to go, so we put it out there, and it was unbelievable our first weekend. I mean, I was pouring beer for 6.5 hours straight, and it was absolutely fabulous.
That's
I
good.
think we did close to like 300 crawlers in the first.
That's great.
First weekend.
I'm happy for you.
Yeah. So
Here
is
you are
that.
2 years later, and you're still moving along.
Still growing. We still have that problem. We're running out of beer too quickly. So
That's a good problem to have.
if I got to have a problem, I want that one. Absolutely.
Yep.
Absolutely.
So speaking of brewing, I came across the Pink Boots Society. Apparently, March 8th, which is coming up, is their official day for that. They also have a hop blend that was put out that. This has been going on, and it supports the women in the beer industry, no matter what part of it. Correct?
From what I'm aware of, yes. So whether it be an entry level seller person to wanting to do more, that they maybe need to go off for an education, this society, they can, reach out to them for grant opportunities for education or management positions, upper level management positions. I mean, anything within the industry, whether that just be manufacturing, but also I would anticipate probably supplying, supplies as well too. So whether hop farms, malt things of that nature, anything that coexist in the brewing industry. And, it's just something that, I talk with the females on our staff if they would be interested in doing it. And all of them, absolutely. We'd love to come out and make beer. So that was actually yesterday morning. All the ladies from the tap room came out, and we brewed a hazy triple IPA
with the Pink Boots Society.
With the hop blend
Okay.
for it. So I can't recall exactly which ones are in there. I think there's like 1 or 2 experimental hops in there as well too. But everything that I was reading from the description has hazy IPA written all over it. So I mean, they are what they are. I mean, they sell, they pay a lot of bills, and that's what we want. We want it to sell, so that way we can donate, the proceeds back to the Pink Boots Society, as well as it'll bring recognition to our brewery as well too. Because I don't believe anyone in this area does a Pink Boots
I didn't
specific
come
beer.
across it in any of that article. And then when we had our recording first, you had said you were participating in it. I think it's great. Getting women involved in whatever industry, let's push them along as well.
Yeah.
So speaking of that, women and the home brewing, I think Trogs used a woman's home beer recipe for their, which is now a release. It's called the Coconator.
Yeah. That was Kristen Richards. Sorry, Kristen. She's part of the Sons of Alchemy, and great home brewer, absolutely phenomenal brewer, and I'm so happy for her. She's won awards after awards, many more than I have, and so super happy for her that she was able to be selected as the winner of that contest, and kudos to her and her passion for brewing, and as well as food as well too, because she is a very, very good chef as well too.
Yeah, that's one of the episodes we're going to have to look into down the road is food pairing with beer.
Mm-hmm.
By all means, a hot dog will go good with anything.
Goodness. Speaking of food, are there any expansion plans, Brooks?
There's some irons in the fire.
Okay. Nothing that we're going to disclose yet.
Well, I mean, it's more just dreams and ideas.
Oh, okay.
Nothing
I mean, that's
tangible
where
at
it
this point.
starts.
Yeah, I mean, there's 2 things that, just being, open this time we have that really seem to hamstring us, that, kind of, which we definitely need to improve on. Number one is to have a full kitchen.
Gotcha.
We have a pseudo kitchen, so we do paninis, as well as we do some sausages from Weavers of Wellsville, which is local business here in Wellsville, PA, and just, light fare. I mean, really easy stuff, because I always knew that we had to have food. One question that I was always asked of me whenever I was talking to someone that I'm starting a brewery was, are you going to have food?
More than cereal.
Correct. Yes. Yeah. Are you going to have food? Are you going to have food? So, I'd like to think I'm a good listener. My wife may, disagree with that at times. So, that kind of just, the bell rang, okay, we got to have something, that doesn't mean we have to have everything under the sun, full, 5-course meals, of that nature, but something that's ample that, I would like to, most people, a simple sandwich and a beer, a couple chips. That's good. I don't want to say good enough, but it's ample. And we didn't have the financial means to put a grease trap in, put the hood up, and the fire suppression, all that stuff when getting up and started. And actually, we didn't start food until I think like July or August, because I just wanted to focus on the beer to begin with. That is our bread and butter. That's what pays all the bills. That's why the people are here, are for the beer first. So I want to make sure that's right first before we take on any other things, because if you can't focus on one thing first, you're not giving it the full respect that it needs.
I know. When on the phone, you and I conversed, and that building down the street from us would make a hell of a nice.
Yeah, it would.
House.
It's got a huge parking lot, so huge
warehouse.
Plenty of room to grow. And that's something I'm looking for, is more elbow room in order to grow. where I want to take this business in the future is that, we're going to have several acres in order to grow for it, which, also will include a, outdoor beer garden. Just we got to have outdoor seating. I mean, we can put some tables right outside the entrance door, but that's not really, it doesn't, somewhere where, people can come in, they can bring their dogs, hang out, play some cornhole, maybe play some washers, which is
I think we got a collab idea that we could maybe work on in the future.
we'll see about that. But, it's, where I want to take the business is, I made a goal to myself that I do not want to have to lift a keg at the age of 45. I'll be 38 in June. So I'm already starting to slow down, and those kegs aren't nearly as light as they were in college.
Well, you didn't know any keg stands, or are you still doing that?
No, not good Lord, no. I mean, I've done a few here and there, in college, late high school.
I think at your graduation party, your dad actually did one too.
Yeah, I think you're right. He might have done a few.
He asked me to do it. I'm like, oh hell no. Nope.
So I want more or less transition myself into a CEO role. Just take care of the day-to-day operations,
Work on the business.
work on the business, big picture plans, but yet still have my hands in things. Bringing it back to the corporate world, one thing learned is that there's a big disconnect between management and workforce. Whenever I had a problem, I always came up with a solution before I brought it to my management. Okay, here's the problem, here's the solution, let's do it. And there was always a disconnect, and I never really got an answer why. Mainly because pardon my French, they're not in the shit with me. When you got gunfire hanging over your head, they're tucking tail and heading for their office and closing their door. They want nothing to do with it.
In the automotive world, all they were looking for was the production out of you that makes them look good.
Exactly. So, and that's the frustrating part is like, here's a way to make me more productive, which means makes more money. Yeah, sure. It's an investment. It's going to cost money, but it's investment. It will reap the benefits down the line. And
I just bought a couple tools because the guy said, hey, we could use this. It would make my job easier. Guess what?
Done. Yeah. That's all they should have to say to you.
Yep.
And,
because the more productive they are, the better the business and everybody else follows through.
Right.
So.
Exactly. So, and I've even said as well too. I mean, a lot of our regulars know that I still want a presence. Whether it's here or other location, or I want to pick up a shift at the bar on a Friday night, busy Friday night.
Your name's on the building.
Yeah, exactly. And I want my staff to know that I'm not above them. Right. I have no qualms at all. If I need to bust tables, I'm going to bust tables. If I need to wash dishes, I'll wash dishes. I don't care. Whatever it takes in order to get the job done. And to me, that builds a lot of loyalty from, my staff, that I'm willing to do whatever it takes. And that, once again, if I'm in the shit with the boss and the boss is pulling his weight just like everyone else, I mean, why would I want to go work for anyone else?
It's called team building.
Correct. Yeah. And so, eventually, get to that CEO role, hire a chef that he can handle the kitchen with all the staff, hire a front of house manager as well as a sales manager, and then eventually hire a brewer. Oh my God, that's going to...
Well, it sounds like you've already started to build some from within.
Yeah. I mean, there's, right now, all of our staff, is just part-time. They have their full, full-time job, 9 to 5, things of that nature. So that's a little bit difficult in order to transition, because there's no way we can give them the type of benefits package that they would have at their regular job, as well as, as salary. So
I know that all too well.
That will happen with time. But right now we're just not there quite yet. So
Dave has a family member that could help you with the chef portion.
Oh yeah,
Christian,
he's CIA chef. He's also a professor at Cornell.
Oh wow,
yes,
Ivy League, nice.
So when Dave's has their family reunion over there, I guess he's pulled duty, always cooking, right?
Yeah, well, yeah. Most of the time that what we do is we allow him to do the cooking because of the fact that he enjoys it. And that's his job. That's what he does, and he just enjoys it. And I haven't approached him yet, but I'm sure that someone else has probably told him that that I have mentioned it to them that we would like to get him on here as a guest and
food pair.
And,
hell yeah, that'd be great. That would be wonderful.
Yeah. maybe we can introduce him to you, and then
Yeah. I mean, there's also, some other things that I'm looking for in a candidate other than just a, great chef that can make great dishes. They also have to have some, personnel skills when it comes to, hiring as well as scheduling, things of that nature. So, I mean, it's not a one, there's just so many hats that, that is going to be expected of them in order to do. I mean, if you're the chef, you're the manager of that kitchen. So I'm coming to you and saying, hey,
Job description.
Exactly. And that's going to be expected of you. I mean, you could be the best chef in the world, but if you can't perform the duties that are asked of you, I'm sorry, it's just not going to work out. And,
a lot of wise words spoken, honestly. Not wears lots of hats, not just the boss, not just the manager, but sure sounds like we got a great leader here.
Yes, I think we do. I think Hemauer is going to be. It sounds like it's on a fast track already. So
I'm thirsty, boys.
That's what I'm getting ready to say.
all this talking made me
What's
thirsty.
our second one there, Brooks?
So this is our golden boy. This is our Lucky Lobsta New England IPA. This is the beer that everyone loves. We go through so much of it, and just seems since I've been in the industry, it seems like there's one beer out of every brewery that everyone loves there. This is our beer, and
Was this the first batch you did?
Like,
is this the first beer you come up with, or is this something that just came along?
Just something came along. I was kind of working on a New England IPA, and then the name came from an inside joke between my wife and I, and it just it really hit off. I mean, hazy IPAs are what they are. They're not my highest preferred beer to drink style, but it pays a lot of bills, so I'm gonna keep brewing it until no one wants to drink it anymore. So. I really appreciate everyone's support for this beer, and it's also getting some brand recognition as well too. That seems like whenever our name comes up, everyone knows Lucky Lobsta by name.
It sounds good. You're a little citrusy and hoppy on the aroma side. I think it's all right. I mean, it's kind of mellow,
smooth.
a little mellow and smooth, and I get a little
smooth.
juice, like a juicy to it.
Yeah, and that's where that that New England IPA comes from. And I honestly I love pouring this beer just because of the aroma on it. I'm pouring a pint of it, and I just take a huge whiff of it, and you get nothing but that citrus characteristic from it. And it's very approachable. I mean, for 7.8.
Oh goodness!
7.8?
Yeah, it's 7.8.
Sneaky.
This is one of my stealth beers, I call it, that they do not drink that the ABV says it is.
Not at
and
all.
It is all of 7.8. I mean, there's no, well, we're going to stretch it. Maybe it'd be 7. No, it's 7.8, if not maybe a point or two above at times. But,
some of these New Englands are overbearing, whether the aroma or the taste, and this one is just smooth as ever. Right up my alley, personally.
I was going to say, it's right up Ben's alley.
On Untapped, we got 1,015 check-ins with a 3.88 rating, 7.8 ABV, like Brooks said, 37 IBU.
very, very approachable. And that's the way I try to approach every style. Just whether you're a diehard hazy IPA fan or you're just trying to get into them, I just want to try to, appease everyone and try to make it very middle of the road. So that way, everyone can enjoy it.
I'm not a big IPA guy, but I could drink this. This is a very drinkable beer. So I'm giving it a half a bottle cap. 3.75.
Boy, that guy. Jeez.
I'm giving it a 3.75 because I'm like you. I'm not a huge IPA fan, but my palate has changed. So I think it's very good. It's like I said, it's citrusy and juicy. It's mellow. It's a very drinkable beer.
Yeah, and it pairs very well with our Pivot Part series, which is a rotating hazy IPA series where every time I brew it, I brew it with a different hop. So it's a single hop beer. And, one thing I've, just from drinking beer myself with drinking hazy IPAs, a lot of them just get kind of muddled together. They all taste the same. There's so many similar characteristics of hops, so it could be a completely different hop variety, but yet they have similar characteristics. So, it just seemed like time and time again, hazy IPA I drank, it tastes just like the next one, So I wanted to, focus on a beer, hazy IPA that has one hop. That way you can really tell the nuances from one hop to the next. And This time around we have Lotus, which is a very unique, has a lot of candied fruit characteristic to it, but yet it also has a little bit of pine to it, just to kind of, keep it balanced.
I don't get hardly any pine, but if it's there, it's very small.
Yeah. So, the Pivot Part series, this is our 7th version of it. And then our 8th version will be coming out on our birthday party on April 30th.
So April 30th is your anniversary party here.
Correct. Yeah. April 30th. There will be a heck of a shindig.
That sounds good. Sounds good.
I've been planning stuff for the last at least a month, and everything that it needs to have deposits and scheduled is taken care of. Now it's just sort of work on the beer. And that's what I've been focused on here, starting last week of just getting the birthday beers done, because we'll have six new beers released that day.
Wow, 6 new.
Last year we had 7.
Wow.
I'm slacking. We had 7 last year.
So
Hey.
Go ahead.
I was going to say, come out to the birthday party if you can, but if you're not able to, did I see a social media post about brunch and maybe some other events that are regular here?
Yeah. Another thing learned in my time in the industry is that I'm not in the beverage manufacturing and sales industry anymore. I'm more so in the entertainment business. So every Wednesday we have bingo night. No cost to play. Just show up, have a beer, maybe something to eat, and everyone plays bingo together. If you win, you get a 5-ounce pour of your choice, as well as a point that goes into a scoring that whoever has the most wins at the end of the month gets a $30 gift card, second place 20, and third place 10. So
That's pretty cool.
Gives people a vested interest in it. So if you got a couple wins under your belt, well, I better go back if I really want that gift card, for it. Thursday nights have been trivia night, which have always been unbelievable. I was a little apprehensive at first to start it, because there's an added cost to it, which, as any business owner, you want to try to keep your expenses at a minimum.
Return on investment.
ROI. And we started it here first couple of weeks by ourselves, just trying to, minimize that expense, and just didn't really get the feedback that we wanted from it. So I decided to make a decision and hire a company called Cheaters Never Prosper. And they do so much trivia in this area. It's unbelievable. I never realized how much they do. And it's just like a light switch. Just they have the reach, they have the
They have their own following. Almost,
yeah, exactly. And it's been unbelievable. And we get people, and it got to the point where we have to take RSVPs now. You have to call in to reserve a seat, and usually, pretty much every time, the entire floor, every table is completely reserved. The only thing we allow for first come first serve is the bar, which we only have 12 seats, so that can fill up kind of fast. But great. It's been amazing. And, Fridays and Saturdays, every other week, we'll have live music. So local musicians, will come in and, just play acoustic sets. Nothing crazy, just, to fit the mood of the tap room, just, chill place, just to relax, have a good time with your friends and family, and just drink some good beer. Sundays, complimentary yoga.
I saw that. Yeah.
No, and once again, no cost. If you want to just come in, do yoga, and all I am asking for is just a thank you, and and
you had mentioned about giving back to the community. That's one good way of giving back to the community.
Yeah, and I even do it myself. 5 weeks ago, I would have been like, "You're crazy! I'm never going to do yoga. I'm tough. I'll be able to, I'm fine, no big deal." But the more you're in business, the more dealing with the day-to-day operations. It's not the physical most part; it's mental. It just absolutely, because you're constantly. It's almost like an obsession that just you're constantly thinking about. What can I do? How can we do more? How can we do this? And it's just to the point where you just get so fried, and you got to find your center again. Whether that some people go fishing, some people sports, whatever. Collect stamp, whatever.
I drink beer.
Well, when you're around beer every day,
when you're around beer, you don't want to do it all the time.
Yeah. So the first week we did it, just kind of observe, just because we also do offer a brunch afterwards as well too, and so I'm like let's just try it. And my body felt 100% better. Like, I had, little aches and pains, and just when I was done, and I think a lot of it just, with the stretching that you do in yoga, as well as just the mental, just, you don't need to be anywhere right now. There's nothing to do. Just focus on yourself right now and get yourself back squared again. And felt like $1 million afterwards. And this being recording Monday, since we brewed yesterday, I didn't come in for yoga, and I can definitely feel it. So I may have to do it, midway through the week with my wife just to kind of get back centered again.
I just think that's great. I mean, that's a whole different, like 3 or 4 different ideas of different marketing.
Mm-hmm.
Always be marketing was always something I was drilled. You constantly got to keep your name out there one way or the other. And it doesn't matter what you do, but as long as the name's out there, somebody eventually is going to see it, and they're going to come see it.
Yeah, and if that just means, okay, well, maybe this time around, okay, I'll try a beer. Yeah, boom, worked.
That's what brought me in here.
Yeah, and in all honesty, the way I look at it, sure, there's an expense, that we have to take on for the instructor, but for myself, I'm more than willing to pay for it just for myself. That to get me back straight, and if I'm not right, the business isn't right, and I have to make sure I'm right first.
That's good. That's good. So we started this thing. We're going to call it new brewery segment.
Yeah.
And Ben had come up with this idea, and he found one that he's going to kind of talk about.
Give me just a second here. I don't want to give any misinformation. Actually, the
Fake
first
news? You giving fake news?
Yeah, I don't want to give any fake news.
Facebook jail.
Yeah, you don't want to be in Russia giving any fake news.
Well, you're gonna have to help me out with a name or two here. But the first one I wanted to touch on was Whiskers Brewing, and I'd like to give some, give their name some attention, but then it has to follow up with some
big shout out to those
some
guys.
bad news. Unfortunately, I believe some legislation passed within the past year or two in Newville, which is in Cumberland County. They've been dry for a long time. So a family was on the verge of opening a brewery
This month,
we're talking within days, folks, and their premises had a fire, unfortunately. But as we keep talking about here, this community is so strong and supportive. They were able to save a lot of their beer, and they sold it. I believe it was a porch patio situation outdoors, and they had a lot of support. They sold a ton of beer, and we will wait to see any news on the structure as far as the fire goes, or any further plans as far as potential reopening goes. But keep that name, keep that family in your thoughts going forward. And like Brett said, we just would like to start to bring some more attention to any new families, any new breweries, anybody in the industry. So that was just one that I wanted to touch on.
Yeah, absolutely. In fact, sorry for interrupting.
No, go for it. Go ahead.
If you're in the area, I mean, it's, beautiful drive. It's starting to get springtime. Check them out. I mean, once again, hardworking family that just, I can only imagine what they're going through right now. I mean, I went through the same situation excluding the fire, but I mean, I can only imagine the heart-wrenching phone call, whether they were there. I don't know the particulars of it, but just, you've worked so hard
to get
and it's right in front of you, and something like that is outside of your control happens. It's just like, my heart goes out to them. Absolutely. And, I want to reach out to them, and see if, any way that I can help them, whether that be like they have just an absolute influx of beer that, hey, I'd be more than willing to, put it on tap here to move it and
I think
keep things rolling.
You've brought that up together before. The craft beer in this area, and I don't think it's just restricted to Central PA. You guys all work as your own little community, and you guys will come together and help each other out.
It's not restricted to beer either, really.
No.
Distilleries, wineries, and so on.
I saw an article that somebody was getting new fermenters or something, and a bunch of breweries showed up to help move that equipment in. So I think that's what, when we started down this path, this craft beer, I guess we call it craft beer. It's a different path. Your palates and the flavors are so different, but the community, it's not just the brewers, it's the people that visit these places. It's its own community. And I think it's phenomenal compared to what I grew up with. You went to a bar, period. You went to the bar. But now you're coming to craft brew houses where the atmosphere is good, the people are phenomenal, and you're supporting a small independent person to help their family. That's where I think it's just great.
Who, and then a lot of the times will right back around, reinvest back into the local community as well too.
So,
and it's rather surprising. It's sometimes that to realize how many people are employed in the brewing industry in the state. A lot of the times, and when talk to a legislator, things like that, because all they seem to care about are jobs. How does this affect jobs? Because no one wants to lose jobs, and you have to realize that there's a lot of people's livelihoods in this industry, and
Right.
and support them, and we all work together. As they say, rising tide lifts all boats. So the only real competition we have are Bud Miller Coors.
And they're no competition. Trust me, they're not a competition to me.
Well, we try to convert as many people as we can, over to the right side, not the dark side. But it's the camaraderie in this industry has been amazing. There's been several breweries in this area that I've reached out to, just questions for help. I know Gear House down in Chambersburg have been awesome. We did a collab right before we opened because I want a beer that we could put on right away. I think we did a chocolate cherry stout and we released it on Black Friday down there. And then I took a couple half barrels and some bottles and we released it here when we finally opened the following year. So big huge shout out to them, to David and Aaron, as well as Heather and Van, for everything they've done. I've worked with Jared down at Collusion in York, and Alan Miller at Boneshire. So it's been an amazing feeling that welcoming into the community.
And I think when we started this thing with this podcast, we're getting to know you guys too.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's great, and we're trying to spread the word as well. Come out and see them. This is what this is all about.
Absolutely. I got, so you just mentioned Gear House, was it?
Yep.
I believe I bought some beer from them there at the Farmers Market in Lemoyne, West Shore Farmers Market, I believe. Some great stuff there. And actually, I had one more point I wanted to touch on for the local beer news. We had South County Brewing Company, I believe. They are currently in Fawn Grove, and they had some huge, and I mean huge, expansion plans for York Township.
That thing should be opening soon.
Yeah. That thing will be coming soon. I believe it was 18,000 square.
It's huge.
Yeah, we're talking big. Add that one to your bucket list for sure. And
we're going to have to definitely reach out to them. Do you know anybody down there in South County?
I haven't
networking.
I haven't met JR down there, and they're so far out of the way.
I think that's kind of why they brought
are.
this, and they're bringing it more to a central area where it's easily accessible.
Correct. it's call it what it is. It's a destination.
It is going to be a destination.
From all the renderings and photos that they put out, it is going to be
28,000 square foot. I'm sorry, not 18. 28,000.
And I believe they're also including a distillery in there as well,
I think so too. I think I heard that. So that's going to be definitely a to-do list for the CPP.
Absolutely.
An on-site to-do list.
There you go. I like that.
So we had mentioned, I'd mentioned that I watched that Port in PA segment with you and your wife, where you guys both followed your dreams. Your wife went into photography, and so from what you said, sounds like she went and did her venture first. You come into the brewing. But what was neat about it is now you guys come up with a completely different idea of how to market both businesses. So tell us a little about this Beer and Boudoir.
Beer and Boudoir. Let me just first say, everyone loves the butt picture on the wall.
Ben's going to get a selfie with that before he leaves.
Yeah, there's plenty of people that take selfies with it. But it was just, we talked about that. Boy, even before we opened, even before we opened, I believe that just kind of, what are our dreams? If money was never an option and, we could have whatever we wanted a place that we could have together, that the two businesses can work together. So, obviously the brewery would take over the vast majority of the space, but she would also have a studio with some nice, big, huge windows with some nice, beautiful light, southern facing, so you get all that beautiful natural light. And she can have her studio that she can perform her craft and to work on that. And and the campus, we want to call it Beer and Boudoir. So she recently, about like 6 months ago or so, she mentioned to me, she's like, "Why don't I start taking some pictures of the beer with the girls if they want?" And first and foremost, for I wanted it to be done, very, very tasteful, as well as not to come off that we're taking something from the women. I think we've all seen, boy, what was it? About 10 months ago, when all the bad things were starting to arise that happened within the brewing industry, especially the derogatory things towards women, minorities, things of that nature. And that was my first and foremost. I'm like, look, we got to do this right. And I don't want to come off, the brand, the brewery, as we're taking something from them. No, that's the exact opposite. I want to give something back to them, whether that be self-esteem, motivation, what have you, and be very tasteful at what it is
very tasteful.
And, I use the analogy. It's like Playboy versus Penthouse. Playboy, very tasteful. It's done very, methodically, where Penthouse is like anything goes.
Yep.
She did a couple, shoots in her studio in Carlisle on Pomfret Street, and she just, bottom line, it came down to she kind of was sick and tired of lugging equipment back and forth between there, and it's a lot easier to do it here at the tap room. We have everything here. We have the beer here. We have this. We have that, and so she just started she does once a month. She'll do a photo shoot that the girls are all willing to do it. I mean, she actually has a list of girls that want to sign up to be models of beer and boudoir.
Okay, so I was going to ask, are there certain models, or is it just whoever wants to do it?
Whoever wants to do it. A lot of the times it's previous clients of hers, and she shoots all women. She doesn't just shoot that stick skinny girl, that's 98 pounds, that typical model,
that's not up my alley.
Right. And, she shoots the girl next door, or the divorcee that, has, put her kids, raised her kids, put them through college, and now decide, that something happened in her life and needs a little bit of motivation that, yes, she is a beautiful, strong, powerful woman. She just needs something to push her along in that. And that's what we are. We push her to that. And it's been worked very, very well. And I was apprehensive to put the pictures up here on the wall behind us, by the way. There's always Karens and Richards, and Richards
You're going to have that no matter what you do.
Yeah, Richards are my male version of Karens. That since we do have they're right out by the windows, people can see in here, and I was trying to prepare myself for someone to come in and have a problem with it, and to be honest with you, not once. Never once. No one has ever mentioned whether emails, social media messages, anything for the negative for what we've done.
I think it's very tasteful.
Yes, absolutely.
Like you said, you're empowering these women.
Mm-hmm.
Can I sign my wife up?
Shannon at ShannonHemauerPhotography.com.
There we
go.
Direct link.
How do we do this?
PA Boudoir on Instagram, as well as Facebook, Twitter. She's booked out 4 months now.
Do you get window lickers back here if you're doing it in the tap room here?
Yeah, so obviously the audience can't see this, but I did hang a cable up right on top of the windows, so we do put a sheet up so people can't see. Yeah, that's the last thing we need are just gawkers, because that makes it uncomfortable for the women.
Yeah.
And if they're not comfortable, you can't produce a quality product.
Right.
Shannon's been doing this for several years now, so she knows what she needs in order to get the client to be their best. And
I think it's great. I think and not only is it sexy, like you had said, sex sells.
Yeah, it does.
But it's tastefully done, and it's great. It's a great idea,
and it's a way to differentiate ourselves from everyone else. As an entrepreneur, I believe the hardest question to answer is what makes you different than everyone else,
and that is definitely different.
And here we go. Here's our answer, and everyone really really enjoys it, and we just been getting on my wife to try to get some more pictures up here since we do have some space open on the wall for it. So it's been a great marketing tactic for us, and look to expand both brands. I can bring my patronage to her and vice versa as well too.
If we go together and we get that big building down there, we got plenty of room to do all that stuff.
There may be a method to the madness.
Dave's going to buy it.
Oh, yeah.
He's going to
yeah.
sign on the dotted line for us.
Yeah, as soon as I get my wallet back, right?
That or get all those lucky numbers, right, on
There you
Tuesday or Wednesdays.
I think we have another beer here to drink.
Let's do it.
What do you have there?
This is our Garage Series number 4. So to start with, our Garage Series, all our barrel-aged beer. So I brew in the garage. I wanted something to go, kind of on that theme. So it's got, the logo has that kind of old school full service gas station type feel logo to it. And so this is the fourth version of it. And so this is our wild fermented Saison. So it is fermented with a yeast strain that I captured at the brewery, and part of a homebrew club project that there was a member who was working in the lab at Hershey Med, working on his biology doctorate, and he was able to take that wild yeast and isolate different strands, and this is the one that tasted most like a Saison to us. So just a simple Saison that I've brewed. Actually, the beer name is called Wild Ways, which we've had on a couple times before. Aged in a Pinot Noir and Chardonnay barrel, blended it together and put it on tap, and it's turned out pretty damn tasty.
Yeah. So when you barrel age it, do you have enough room to barrel age? Because when we had Tim on, he doesn't have the room to barrel age, or because what he says, he'll put the barrel in the beer to get the barrel age out of it.
I have enough. One of the things on my shopping list for equipment to buy is a forklift, so I can start stacking barrels. I have enough to get by. One thing you can never have enough of as a brewer is space.
You get a fooder?
No, I don't think I'll get a fooder. I'll just stick with the barrels. I mean, if I can get a forklift, you can start stacking them, and I should be able to stack three stacks high. So I mean, that will free up tons of space for us. The main thing is, how do you get barrels down when they're full? Yeah. Those barrels are, I mean, I can barely lift them myself just to get them on the racks, let alone when there's, if it's a whiskey barrel, what is it, 53 gallons? And if it's a wine, it's like 59, I think.
Wow.
So, I mean, there's some serious weight to that. So, I mean, barrel-aged beers do okay here. Some, other places do better than us, but I would like to try to keep that variety for it. So
I think at least one in your rotation is enough.
Yeah. And I got a couple more down the pipeline here. So this is number 4. Number 5 is just a golden sour base that was aged in a Pinot Noir and just a neutral French oak barrel. So I'm really looking forward to getting that characteristic from that just straight barrel with
Nothing else was in it.
Correct. And then number 6 will be a Russian Imperial Stout that was in a maple syrup barrel.
Oh man!
And the ladies and I tried it yesterday, and it is awesome. It is really damn good.
We better get a phone call when that's out.
Yeah, well, I think it. Maybe a little spoiler here. Maybe our Black Friday release.
Ooh, okay.
Okay.
So how long do you leave a beer depending on the beer?
Yeah, I mean, I depending on beer, depending on style as well, but mainly just by taste. So I drill the holes in them, put the stainless steel nails in, take samples every couple months to try it. So the maple syrup barrel I tried for the first time ever, so I had to drill a hole in it, and I put that in August. Has a little bit of bourbon character. It just has a little bit of sweetness from that maple syrup, and it is quite tasty. I like to try to get a little bit more wood, more of that vanilla in it, which it does have a little bit. So, definitely going to leave it in over the summer and then package it probably early fall.
Okay.
For it.
Would this Garage Series number 4 fit into your stealth category?
Yeah.
I'm looking at an 8.1%.
Yeah. It's
delicious, by the way.
It's up there.
It seems like a smooth.
It is smooth. I do get the wine characteristic of it.
Yeah, you do. It's very good.
Yeah, I picked up a lot of acidity from the barrel as well too, and it's actually revolved as well too. When I finally packaged it, put it on draft, everyone really liked it, especially the staff. There's a couple in particular that this is their shift beer every time. I don't even have to ask. I just grab a pint glass and just pour it for them. But they've noticed, as well as I have, that it has really revolved. In a couple of weeks, just in packaging, that more of the wine characteristic comes out, and as well as the acidity that it's picked up in the from the barrel, from the wine as well
A
too.
little effervescent in it.
Yeah.
That's kind of where, but it's definitely drinkable, and it, like you just said, it can be stealthy.
Yeah.
Stealthy, and then like you mentioned earlier, it's balanced. It's for everybody, really.
Yeah.
It's very good.
What are you thinking, Dave?
I'm thinking it's great. Do you have flights?
Absolutely. We have
You should have a flight of this, and everybody should come out.
this
Everybody
flight.
should come out and get a flight.
Hey,
Well-
can we brand that or something? get a name, a CPP flight.
And actually, the nice thing with our flights, there's no limit on them. I mean, they're all individually 5-ounce pours, individually priced 5-ounce pours. So if you want that one extra, you don't have to get another 3 on top of it. You don't have to stick with an interval of 4, which people kind of like, or maybe you just want 3. So really, it's a build your own flight of how much you want, as well as
I've been seeing that more and more at some different craft houses. They either have your typical flight, or they're going to do a la carte flight.
give the people the option.
Right.
Whatever fits best for them. I don't know who you are. I don't know what you like.
I need a flight of all your beer
the old couples flight.
In one night.
in one
Hopefully that
city.
comes with a designated driver. as
Yeah.
well.
And I might have to grab a panini to go with it.
Yeah, we have had some couples who were not driving that they'll sit down and they'll just take one of everything. So there's 12 5-ounce glasses in front of them, which doesn't if you do the math, it doesn't equate to quite a lot, but it's the mixing of different alcohol contents and stuff like that gets you in trouble.
Oh, I've gotten buzzes off the flight. So
Oh yeah. But
because I'm trying to figure out, okay, I want to try all of the beer I can out of you because I want to figure out what I'm going to take home.
yeah, and that's especially if you're traveling as well too. We get being where we're located in here in Mechanicsburg. We have 5 breweries
At least
within 10 minutes
10 minutes of
of each other, and
there's more coming.
yeah, and it's just it's great for the beer connoisseur, or the beer craft beer believer that the more is better. That maybe you can go here, go there, and map out your plan, as well as it's a draw into this area as well too. Maybe there's just one landing spot that we got to go here. This is where we have to go. But where else can we go while we're here to make it much more adventureful for them?
I've seen that a lot. There's craft beer lovers of Central PA Facebook group, and even on breweries in PA, I've seen people say, "Hey, I'm coming to this area. What do you recommend?"
Yeah, for sure.
And people are posting all their pictures, like you said. I don't think it's you guys are kind of all taking fighting for the same piece of pie, but it's everybody's different.
Mm-hmm.
And it gives the people the variety, and they're going to come visit you. Like when we started down this, it's like, where can we go? I want to try different beers. And that's where we started.
Yeah, and one thing I always try to do is be very diverse with our portfolio of beers that we offer. And I've gotten many, many compliments from people coming in like, "Oh, wow, you have this many styles?" I mean, we have 12 taps, but we only have 2 hazy IPAs on, and people just are floored. And I try to if I want to be remembered, what's my legacy, I guess, if you want to call it, is that as on the brewing side, that I can do a lot of variety as a style very, very well. I don't want to be just locked in, oh, well, he can only brew high hazy IPAs, or he can only do stouts, or but give me a style and I want to knock it out of the park every time.
So speaking of that, how big is your system?
So the commercial system is have the capacity of 7 barrels.
7 barrels, and that is
13, 200.
I know 3 barrel system's 93 gallons.
So 90. We'll just add 30.
Yep. So we're looking.
Yeah. So it's
close to
200 change for it. So
now, is your system, you can do one batch at a time, or can you do multiple styles at the same time?
Depends how much energy I have. Honestly, I have 3 7-barrel fermenters and a 7-barrel bright tank. So I can do various stuff. So typically, my weekly schedule is Monday and Tuesday. Monday's typically a brew day, and then Tuesday's packaging day.
Okay.
And then Wednesday, Thursday, since I don't have to come into we don't open the tap room till 4. That at least gives me the morning till 1 o'clock that I can either, if I need to package or if I need to do one of those pilot batches, things like that. I can get things done before we open up here at the tap
Okay.
room
Sounds good.
for it. So, and I'm also looking for either a 15 barrel fermenter or 2 7-barrel fermenters that I want to increase in just capacity, as well as have more flexibility if I need to. Because there's been times where we'd kick a beer here at the tap room, all the tanks are full. I can't brew anymore because I got nowhere to put it.
Right.
So, I mean, to give us that flexibility that if I need something for draft serve, boom, just get it done. As well as one of my goals this year is to definitely reach out more into wholesale, into bars and restaurants, things of that nature. It's going to be a struggle for me just because I'm pulled in 20,000 directions to dedicate the time required for that. I've been kicking around the thought of possibly taking on someone for sales, for us sales and delivery
Outside
for as
sales,
well
there we
too.
go.
So, I mean, slowly but surely we'll get there. And but in order to increase the brand, awareness, build it, that's something we have to do. I mean, we've done very well here, but retail is great, but it can't be be everything. I want to be as diversified in our income as we can for the business. So wholesale, I mean, I just made the order for custom tap handles. We just have the little black plastic ones that don't say anything right
I
now.
gotta say, you better have it marked up here or what? How they're pulling.
There's always a little index card or something with the draft list next to it, so all the bartenders know exactly what's on what for it. And then I just ordered a pallet of kegs of half barrels. 24 of them from American Keg out of Pennsylvania. I get Pottstown and Pottsville. Where's Yingling again?
Pottsville, I believe.
So it's Pottstown, yeah. It's Pottstown. So
That's out towards Allentown area.
yeah, it's
Eastern side of the
it's they're the only U.S. stainless steel keg manufacturer.
Wow.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah. And so, I mean, supporting local once again, and sure, could I get it cheaper elsewhere? Probably,
Yeah,
but I mean,
Amazon.
Amazon.
I don't know if you can get all the embossing of the stamped on the
Of
stainless
course,
steel.
shipping might be a pain in the ass because it might not be delivered.
Yeah, that or we have porch pirates.
I got a
Fools, I have jokes on them. The kegs are empty.
Yeah. So I think you guys need to come out here. Come out to Hemauer. Where can they find you again?
So Hemauer Brewing Co. on Facebook, Instagram. We are also on Untapped at Hemauer Brewing. Hemauer Brewing on Twitter, HemauerBrewingCo.com. All the social media places. I think we're on TikTok too, which I haven't even
Your
done.
dad loves TikTok.
Oh, I know it.
I don't know shit about
TikTok.
I'm trying to get there, but it's a whole thing in itself. It's hard.
Unfortunately, I don't have the time to learn, so
Yeah.
I've been kind of.
I'm not much on social media, but
neither-
Dave there's the guru on it. Look at that face.
Where'd you dig that lie up? I could say, I quote a famous American who had said, "What an incredible waste of time that social media is." I just don't.
You haven't talked a lot, so I'm kind of trying to poke that bear.
I understand.
Get him involved.
I understand that, but here's the thing: you got to understand that I'm here listening to you three and getting an education. Okay. And this is the big thing. I'm not going to try to poke my nose in on something that I know very little about. I am not a brewer. I am a drinker, but I am not a brewer.
And you are a walking Wikipedia.
Well, that's different story. But I listen to Brooks and I just marvel at his level of intelligence on beer brewing. It just astounds me. So I'm not even going to try to get a little wedge in there. I see you two guys are doing a pretty good job of keeping up with it.
Speaking of brewing, though, I think there is a brewing competition going on. Homebrew competition that Brewers and PA is putting on. I think all the categories are pretty much full.
Little host sites.
Yeah, I think the host sites. So that's something we're going to have to keep an eye on.
I got 4 things here to rattle off before we wrap it up. Hopefully, I can remember them all.
Well, hopefully you can.
First one's going to be just wrapping up the Untapped, the last Garage Series 4 we had. 64 check-ins, 8.1% ABV, like I said, 27 IBUs, with a rating of 3.83. The next thing I wanted to touch on is kind of what Dave mentioned. Social media. A lot of people think it's the devil, and rightfully so. There's a lot of trash shit that goes on social media. But, on the flip side, it is great for marketing. How many times you look around, you go out, and you see everyone's face is buried in their phones. There are a lot of avenues to be pursued out there for marketing purposes. Let me see. Third one, shit happened as far as the tech goes when Brooks was gracious enough to come visit us.
Got to rub it in.
And no, I'm going to wrap it up. It's in all in a good way. So we can't thank you enough, honestly, for having us here.
Guys.
Having us here. This has been great. Like Dave said, it's super educational. Not only that, but inspiring. We're talking about, women in the industry giving back to the local community and so on and so on. Mental health and the yoga and the physical fitness, everything. It's been awesome. I've had a great time. And last but not least is Aaron Rodgers playing football next year.
Boy, you really had to poke that bear with me, being a Packers fan.
I'm just genuinely curious.
Honestly, he said he wanted to make a decision before the franchise tags deadline, which tomorrow.
Wraps up Tuesday, correct?
Tomorrow, I think at like 4 Eastern.
I heard the goat's coming back too.
Oh, stop it! Don't even go there.
All right, so
honest opinion.
He's coming back. He's coming back. He's coming back as a cheerleader. So I mean, it's just
so okay. This may be a little bit long-winded, but just hear me out.
We need a sports segment.
Okay, number one, if he decides not to play for the Packers, so let's go down this rabbit hole first.
There's three avenues.
Right. If he decides to not play for the Packers anymore, this is just like Brett Favre.
Right.
exactly.
I mean, just
almost identical.
I mean, identical. So number one, the Packers will not trade him to any team in the NFC.
Correct. I believe all 4 teams listed were in the AFC.
Correct. Now, is this really true that he wants, $50 million a year, blah, 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 whatever. It's just money to them. I mean, those teams are making so much damn money just on TV revenue. I mean, I think what it was.
That's the going rate, too. For
over $250 million every team gets just for TV revenue.
Absolutely insane.
Unlike baseball, they didn't even come to a term yet.
Yeah, they're
baseball's kicking themselves in the
they
nuts.
are.
So, okay. Denver. Okay, yeah, they got the cap space. They have the talent. But he has to face Mahomes twice a year, as well as Herbert twice a year, who is an up-and-coming star. Okay, yeah.
Don't count out them scrappy Raiders either. I mean,
The Raiders.
Exactly.
Okay, let's say Tennessee. Okay, but they got a lot of high-priced players. I mean, Julio Jones is making a ton of money. And I think it may have, if Rodgers goes someplace else, it may have to be a combo deal. They're going to have to take Devontae Adams with them as well, too. And he wants $30 million a year. So you have $80 million of your salary cap taken up by 2 players.
Do you think if it is a combo deal? Let me. I don't even know where I'm going with this one. Is there any chance that Adams gets tagged and Rodgers departs?
No.
No. Okay.
Well, I won't say never.
Because you got to figure it's like a rebuild almost in the making, or no? Correct me if I'm wrong.
So this is the way I think it's going to play out. Now, I may be completely wrong tomorrow. We'll see. I believe the Packers are going to tag Adams.
Okay.
It's cheaper to get him because ultimately they have control over him. They'll tag him for $22 million a year, which is you save $8 million. Cool. Give Rodgers what he wants. So, you show him, all right, we'll give you the money you want. We got your best weapon. We're going to have to make some sacrifices here and there. And they move some cap space around, things of that nature. That division is trash.
Very winnable.
Yeah. Detroit is still a mess. Chicago is still a mess. The Vikings are coming, they have a new head coach. Who's their quarterback? Kirk Cousins? Is it someone else? So, if it's true that he wants to win, above all he wants to do is win a Super Bowl, where else would he have a better chance? So
weren't they kind of favored this year?
Oh, geez, there we go.
And they
yes, Brett.
Yes, they were. Same thing last year, and
because
I've seen how many NFC Championships games with him, and he's only won one, unfortunately.
So I take it you're a big Packers fan.
I am a shareholder, yes. And
a shareholder. Hey, that's awesome.
That's
cool.
I have 2 shares.
That's right, because you came from Wisconsin.
I am
you were a cheesehead.
I'm originally born and raised in Wisconsin. I am a cheesehead. Yes, I'm a Packers, Brewers, Badgers, Bucks.
Oh man,
Cool.
That's
Badgers.
Cool. Sorry.
Yeah, I know. Living in Penn State country. Yeah, it's sickening. yes, I know. I know who you are. You are Penn State. You don't have to. You don't have to tell me 20,000 times. I get it.
I'm not on that team, by the way.
Good ice cream, by the way. I'll give you props. Good ice cream, by the way. They got a good creamery.
So no chance he retires?
I don't see it. I don't see it because he's still playing at the top of his game.
The tippy top, back-to-back MVPs.
BPs, right? How much better can he play? Plus, you're doing what you love to do. And I kind of take this back to Junior Seau. Just tragic what happened to him, but I believe that he couldn't live without the game. This is your world.
Absolutely.
Since you're 8 years old, maybe you didn't start until high school. Okay, you're in your teenage years, so you have 30 years of your life dedicated to this sport, which you love to do. You love hanging out with the guys. You love coming together and fighting and playing the game and the rush of the crowd and things like that. And just to all let it go and say, when you have things together to reach the pinnacle again, I don't see it from him being the competitor that he is. But, he's got other things going on in his life.
Jeopardy, they filled that spot.
Yeah, I know he did.
That would have been great, though. Maybe after his days.
Well,
playing days.
I still think he's coming back to Green Bay because he has it too well. The work that he's done with him and LaFleur, it can't be denied. It's going to hurt with all the coaches they lost. So I mean, things are going to be different. But the Packers also went out and got a assistant coach, a quarterback coach, who he believes, Tom Clements, that he believes was the reason why he is the quarterback that he is today, and is one of his favorite coaches. To me, that's a power move. We're going to give you what you want. And this, one of those, we had a spot to fill in a quarterback coach, and this is the guy you've praised and praised and praised and praised, and we got him out of retirement,
right?
Too.
Right.
That's probably one of those. Hey, Tom, hey, we want you to come back and work with Aaron.
Right. Yeah. It seems like Rodgers and Gunst are on the up and up.
Yeah, and Steelers fans can appreciate this as well too. They're always a draft and develop.
Yeah,
we're always 100%. Looking for down the road.
I love Rodgers, but that's the decision I'm pulling for tomorrow, by the way. So thanks for talking sports. I'll talk football all day long.
Oh, hell yeah.
I just had to wrap that up, throw that in there.
Oh man, I'll talk football. God, it's my first love.
So there's a couple things I did see that we talked about being March. It is St. Patrick's Day coming up. Saw something on your door. There's something they could check in here till the end of March.
Yeah, Brew Barons, lagers and leprechauns?
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah, it's a brewery tour based on the Hershey Brewery and Tourism, Hershey Harrisburg Brewery and Tourism, tourism. And you come in, check in, and I think they have specific special swag for the check-in. So I'm going to imagine probably T-shirts and other things of that nature. I haven't really looked a ton into it for it, but they've helped us out tremendously with getting the word out, as well as the Cumberland Valley Beer Trail as well too. Yeah. Every month I try to get information to them of beer releases, events, things of that nature for us as well too.
Oh,
what was that?
I don't know. Sounds like an edit.
Yeah, it sounds like I don't know what it was.
Ghost of beers past.
Yes. So that's good. They can come in here and check out. I know Brewery Tours is going to be our next guest.
Okay.
And they have Sips and Shenanigans on the North Central Railway on March 19th. I know I'm going. I haven't heard if anybody of you guys are going yet. So I'm definitely going to do that. So check that out. So there's a lot of St. Patrick's Day. You doing anything special here at the tap room for St. Patty's Day?
Kegs and eggs.
Kegs and eggs.
We're opening up at 8:00, and actually one of our staff members came to me and it's like, "Hey, I really would like to do this." Cool, do it.
Oh,
that's awesome.
Yeah. I'm like, yeah, and she's like, I know you got your plate full, and I'm like, fine, just do it. Just let me know how much you spend, so I, can reimburse you for it. And doing corned beef and scrambled eggs, as well as I think we're gonna do some other stuff as well too. Some maybe bangers and mash as well too.
Oh, bangers and mash.
And plus, we got our McFadden Irish Red that I'm actually going to put on nitro as well too.
Oh,
So
boy.
when I brewed it, I had St. Patty's Day in mind. So when I was sending it off to the Bright Tank to carbonate, I pulled off a half barrel and put it on nitro. So that will be on, as well as we have our Mickey McFinnigan, which is our dry Irish stout, on nitro as well too, for St. Patty's Day.
So that sounds good. So make sure you come out here to Hemauer. Check him out on Facebook. Check out his wife's photography business, Shannon Hemauer Photography, or PA Boudoir.
Boudoir, yep.
No, there is no entry when they're doing this photo shoot here. So don't. We have dibs.
Trust me, dude. There is a long list. She's been in business for a couple of years, and that list keeps growing and growing of all the assistants that are willing to give time in order to produce the product.
So Brooks, hey, like Ben said before, we appreciate you doing this again because of my fuck up.
Hey, shit happens, man.
And this gave us an opportunity to see, hey, we are mobile. We can do this on site and feature your beers. So, Dave, before we get out, you got anything for Brooks?
No, I'm good. I just enjoyed it. I just wanted to express how good the beer was. I tell you, it's like one of the first time that you can't give any negative on any of these beers. They were all great. So I just like, and plus the scenery was pretty good too.
Oh yeah, oh sure.
So that's one of Dave's fears. It's like if we go to a brewery and we don't like their beer, how? Lie.
Yeah, just
Constructive.
Constructive
Constructive
criticism.
criticism.
Yeah, that's tough. I mean,
I've learned the phrase of sorry, it's just not my cup of tea.
there you go.
And we've done that. We've run into some beers and hey,
Yeah.
we may not like it, but somebody else might love
Yeah.
it.
Absolutely.
Ben, anything else?
Just thanks again, Brooks, for coming out. Awesome place here.
Thank you.
I can't wait to shop for some merch, some 4-packs to go.
Yeah, I think I'll be taking a couple of these in the front here at home. So Brooks, you're going to supply our Cheers beer as well. So what are you going to give us here?
Well, tried to tease it. He didn't pick it up too well.
I was waiting.
So for our Cheers beer, we have our Mickey McFinnigan, which is a dry Irish stout, which is on nitro. So very similar to Guinness. Very, very light. It's 4.6 ABV. I've done this a couple times. This is the first time I've done it on a little bit larger scale. So this was actually the first beer I did on our pilot system, the new pilot system.
Okay.
So yeah, put it on nitro so you get that nice, thick, creamy head to it, and just a good beer to sit down, relax with as well too. If you like a little bit something on the darker side, a little bit more of that roasted malt, dark chocolate. This is a great one. And being is that it's so low in ABV, you can have a couple of them and still survive the St. Patty's madness going on.
So that sounds good. So hey, follow us on Untappd. See how we're going to rate these beers tonight. Brooks, again, thank you very much. We wish you guys nothing but the best here.
Thank you.
Your expansion, your future.
Likewise to you guys as well too. I mean, I look forward to seeing your growth through all this and be the next big thing going on.
Thank you. We're going to have to take Dad back here and get this nitro. That's right up his alley.
So grab a beer, sit down here with the CPP. Let's all raise one, and let's all be bonded by beer. Cheers.
Cheers.
Cheers, fellas.
Cheers.